We've got jars, we've got empty jars. Ah, this is a mess. All right, let's get it all out, see what we actually have. And the other side. Oh my goodness. We've got empty jars stashed all over, all the eggshells for the garden. Yeah, we're gonna have to do that too. We've got the dishwasher going, I've got the bread maker going. It's a noisy morning, but yay. Let's get this pantry check started. It's time to check the jars. Got a few cans. We still have some older jars, but there's nothing wrong with these guys, just so you know. Clean down there and reorganize this a little bit and get some of these veggies and beans out where we can actually get to them and use them. It is springtime pantry readiness. It's also a good time to also check all the seals, make sure everything's good. I did find one jar that was bad and Fred emptied that out for me, but I barely got into anything. I was just moving things around. Time to get to work. Let's check some jars. Everything is dusty. One of the downfalls of having a wood stove. So, first thing I want to go through, we do only have the 4 little jars of tomato paste and the 1 big jar left. That's it for tomato paste. All right, we need to write down what we're making this year. So one is tomato paste. Another thing that we do have a lot of is straight up rhubarb. That's that rhubarb jam that didn't really set 100%, but it's really, really good in oatmeal. We've got some of Fred's fruit jam, and we also have some of the old blackberry jam. Now, I also had some blackberries in the freezer. This is what I did with them. Ooh, steamy, just a minute. So these are actually the last 2.5 quart bags, I think it was, of blackberries in the freezer. And I decided I'm going to make some blackberry jelly. So I'm going to let these cook down for quite a while, and then we're going to strain them out and try and get rid of all the seed. But, I mean, like, check out that color. And the smell, oh my gosh. It smells so good in here right now. So we're going to try and get the seeds out of this stuff. All right. So all I'm doing, guys, is I've cooked the berries, putting them through my sieve, and I'm just going to get all those really good juices and stuff out. This isn't going to make a lot of jelly, but that's okay. Okay, it's a little messy, but that's okay. That's just the cloudy juice so far. This guy, we have to let it cool down a little bit so I can handle it. I'm actually going to be putting this in cheesecloth and just going to hang it over this and let it drip. But I'm going to give that about an hour to cool down in the fridge, and then we'll continue on making a mess, because, you know, it's my kitchen. If I don't make a mess, I'm not cooking, right? Okay. We have the hook on the door handle and the bowl. Now the bowl here, it's got, this is actually a mesh veggie bag that you use for the grocery stores. So I do not have a jam bag or a jelly bag, and I thought I'd give this a try instead of using the cotton cheesecloth. So let me grab the berries and let's see how this will work. Okie dokie, let's pour this in. There we go. Oops. Conveniently, these things have the little drawstring. Okay, so what I did is I tied a little knot to it, guys. And we're going to hook it right there. There we go, so we've got it hooked. And it's already starting to drip. Yay! Alright, I probably should be using a bigger bowl. I don't know. Yeah, these bags may work out well. Okay. I'm gonna shift it a bit. There we go. So, we're gonna leave that sit there all morning. Well, actually, it's probably gonna sit there all day. I'm still trying to decide, do I want to make jelly or do I want to make like blackberry sauce? Put it on ice cream and things, because it's springtime clean out stuff. Yeah, I still have plywood in case you're wondering. That'll be done soon. Yay. Anyway, I'm gonna let this sit all day and I'll see you guys after work. So I did, it's kind of like a blackberry jelly. Now I didn't follow the actual directions for blackberry jelly. When you make jelly, you're supposed to crush the fruit, strain the juice, and then make the jelly. What I did is I cooked them down. Then I just put them through that sieve and drained them in that bag, and I left them there for about 24 hours. I did have to add some apple juice to follow through the directions for the pectin, and yeah, I made it pectin jelly, but I had to use it up. That's our big focus this spring. Let's use stuff up. Now, how did it come out, you're thinking? It's a beautiful color. Just saying. Now the jam that we had made before, this is an actual jam. It does have some seeds and things in it, but they're both really tasty. We're probably not going to need to make any jam this year, so I'm not even going to put that on the list. So this box though, with our marmalade, now I do have some of all the jam in the pantry, but all of these new jars are going to go back in this closet. All the old jars are going to go over there on the island. Let me get this put away. Tomato paste will be going on the island. Now this is our blueberries and a couple of empty jars. The blueberries also should go on the island, the small jars, so we can use them up. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll take the empties out. Blueberries, rhubarb jam, and some Fred jam. So this whole box here, I'm going to set back in the closet. We actually have an empty box. Yay! And then this will go on top of that. So everything, wow, everything on that bottom shelf is jam. Time to get all those other jars out. So I amazingly thought that I had more veggies left than I actually do. So let's get these empties out here. Let's see how many we've got. Oh, this box is so dusty. Let me clean this box out. So carrots, what do we got? All right, we have 1 full case of carrots. Alrighty. Get rid of these empties. We're gonna do this one half and half. We have 6 jars of carrots and beans, all still sealed and good. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 jars of beans left. Wow, we ate more than I thought. Let's get this out of the way. I pointed it to the ceiling. We're going to get the next box in. Now this is all, whoops, crash. All gonna be big jars. Because we have quite a few tall jars with some good food in it that we need to put where we are gonna put it. And I have no idea why I have a little tiny jar in there. Ooh, this box is a little dusty. Make some room. So one of the downfalls of storing jars is that they get dusty. There we go. All right. So we do have potatoes that we're going to put in here. There we go. Got a couple of them in there so now they don't fall over. All right, potatoes and turkey with stock. See if we have any other big jars that can go in here. 2 more turkey and stock. So we do have 1 whole. We don't actually have any other big jars that actually have food in them. Wow. Perfect. Now this is all different kinds of relish. We've got Lady Ashburnham, we've got green relish. We have a bunch of jars that really need to be washed off. Oh, we found a bad jar. Our first bad jar. Sorry, this is our second bad jar. All right, I'm gonna put this away for Freddie to empty out. So everything we have, guys, is gonna go in here. Well, the majority of it. Still have a couple jars to clean off, but let me dry that off because we did just wash it. First things first. Carrots, beans, peas and carrots. Yay! Next thing is actually our cans of veggies. There we go. All right, next box. So this one's a little bit of a mishmash box. We have got cowboy candy. We have got a thick pizza sauce. No, wait a minute, I lied. That's our last jar of manwich sauce. Our last jar of pizza sauce. One of our who knows how many jars of green relish. And zucchini relish. There we go. If you grew up in Ontario, and I don't even think it's everywhere in Ontario, you grew up with these neon green little bites of deliciousness. Yeah, I put my hair back up. It was driving me crazy, by the way. Well, I had spilled something a while back and I thought I got it all. So all of these were sticky. And apparently it got all over that one box of green relish. Well, of relishes as well. So I had to wash them all. This is why I check jars. Because when you mess something up, you should probably rip it all apart and make sure that you didn't make a complete mess. All right, let's get back to work. Alrighty, so we did add another jar, sorry, another box. This one's got the last of the green beans, the last of our chili, and the last of our stewed tomatoes. All right, but what we're also putting in here, just loose, the last of the carrots, jar of salsa, and the very last jar of tomato sauce. Can you believe it? That's the very last one. So what's going on here is rhubarb jam, Fred jam, and all the small jars of blueberries. I'm gonna say that shelf is ready to go. More empty jars, and yet another tomato paste jar. Seriously, like, why are these scattered absolutely everywhere? I have no idea. Okay, this is going to be our pickle box. Now, I don't know why I'm gonna do it, but yes, I am gonna try more pickles again this year. This is the last of our bread and butter pickles. Don't have very many of those. And our icicle pickles. Like I said, these little chunks of neon green goodness. Trust me, I was so happy when my friend Barb gave me this recipe. So happy. Just saying. Now, some of them are peeled and some of them aren't. Now, the ones that aren't are actually softer. Don't ask me why. I'm not sure how that works. But I did make 2 batches. Maybe the one batch didn't quite work right. I have no idea. But they're really good. We have 3, 6, 7 jars of these left. We might have to put these on the list. But wait, there's more. We do have a few other pickles, but let me bring those over. All right, now all of these are in wide mouth jars, which I do not have a box where they fit in. We also have 2 turnips left for veggies that also we do not have a box they'll fit in. So all these are gonna have to go in the pantry. Well, the closet, I guess, technically. That's all right. We'll sort it out. Because we also still have 2 jars of pineapple left. Dusty pineapple. There we go. You know what I just realized? This box right here is actually the wide mouth mason jar box. I guess we're shifting stuff around. Alright. This is also something else that we won't have to make for a while, which is coleslaw. I know. Weird, huh? But yes. Look at that. You can can coleslaw. It still tastes crunchy. It's basically pickled cabbage. So tasty. Let's get this box sorted. With our last 3 jars of salsa water in here. All of our coleslaw. Ooh, we're having chicken for dinner. Should we have coleslaw with our chicken, Fred? Okay, I'm gonna put one in the fridge. Why have it if you're not gonna eat it, right? And I have 1 random jar of beans here that I'm gonna stick right in front. All right, time for these to go down below. I'm gonna put a note on these telling me to wash these jars still. But I've got a sink full of relish jars to wash first. Sweet pickle, bread and butter pickle, and our 2 little jars of pineapple. And since it's a wide mouth, we'll put these empty wide mouth jars in there too. Okay, let's put this guy away. Oh, wait a minute. The turnip. There, the veggies right up front where I'll use them. And all of our empties. There is still 2 cases down there I have to look at. Alrighty guys, this is where we're going to be adding to what we're cooking. Alright. Where's our book? Stewed tomatoes and chili sauce. Once again, all good seals. We're going to put the green beans in here. There we go. This is the last of all the stewed tomatoes and chili sauce. That's all I've got left. Okay, I apparently lied. I do have 2 more jars of stewed tomatoes. So they're gonna have to go in this last box over here. And 1 more random jar of dill pickles. What we do have left though are only 2 jars of peaches. So we'll get those in here where we can get to them. There we go. So we've got potatoes, turkey and broth, and more potatoes, salsa, carrots, and the last jar of tomato sauce. Stewed tomatoes, chili sauce, green beans. This is just the random blueberries and fruits. Or jams? Something like that. Yeah, jams. This is cowboy candy, last jar of manwich sauce, last jar of pizza sauce, green beans, beans and carrots, all carrots, canned veggies, those last 2 jars of stewed tomatoes that I didn't know I had, lots of stewed rhubarb, turnips, various pickles, making lots of noise, salsa water, coleslaw, a random jar of beans just because it's there. This is all various pickles. So yeah, yay. I do still have only 2 jars of applesauce left. All of this is peach jam, and that is our last jar right there of Victorian barbecue sauce. So we need to make pizza sauce and Victorian barbecue sauce. So far only 4 must needs for next year. Oh yeah, tomato sauce. I lied. I also can't count because that's 5. Alright, time to reorganize this last box. I've got jars everywhere. Now, I do use this peach jam that we had made. It's thinner, but it's actually really, really good in just oatmeal. So when I make oatmeal or overnight oats, I've been putting a lot of that in there. All right, so we got our last jar of Victorian barbecue sauce in there. And I'm going to put in some of the cowboy candy in this box, just so it's easier to get to. But this box will be in the closet, Just kind of dusting things off while I'm at it, because wow, do things get dusty. One of the downfalls of heating your house with a wood stove, just so you know. So one thing we really need to do is organize the empties, because if we don't organize the empties, it's just going to turn into absolute chaos. So I do have a couple of empty boxes, and I also have a couple partial boxes in strange places. Oh, we need to tidy this up. Okay, during my last little reorganization, I have no idea what I was thinking, but we found another jar of stewed tomatoes. Seriously, where did I hide them all? Whoops. All right, he's dusted off. I'm gonna go put him on the other side. I tell you. Okay, so this is where the last of our turkey stock and everything is. These are coming out of the box because they're gonna go into the closet. We also have our turkey. So these need to get used up, especially the turkey. And if they're hiding underneath, they're not going to get used. Now things like meats and stocks and broths, I'm only really going to make those as we go, because I'm not going to spend an entire day just randomly canning meat, because I don't need to. Now, if I was in a situation where I needed to, I probably would. Empty jars. One box of empties. There we go. And there's room in this box for 2 more as we use up the food. Okay, we've done a slight reorganization. We have one random yellow and green bean, so that was hiding behind the potatoes. This is why you reorganize your closets and check your lids. So I have another jar of beans, but that's okay. We have all the potatoes here and here. So these are the last 3 wide mouth jars. These 12 are just standard jars. Our last 4 jars of blueberries, the large ones. And I think those are our last 4 jars of baked beans. So now that gives us all this room here. So let's put the stock and the turkey. Well, I think that's got it. So we do have quite a bit of rhubarb juice left. I actually made a lot more than I thought. And we still have 3 of these big 1-liter jars. Now this is more like a cider type apple juice. I actually put mulling spices in this at Christmas time or just whenever I kind of feel like it. I only have 3 jars left. Freddie's got 1 box of apple juice left. Last 2 jars of applesauce. Last few jars of stewed rhubarb. And these are these random jars of small blueberries, peach jam, stuff like that. So not bad. So our last job for the day is garlic and onions. Because as I was doing this, I noticed we have a couple of discolored spots. And I think we have an onion sprouting in there. So we need to go through these so we can use those up. And conveniently, I have an empty canning box. All right, let's get these onions out first and see what we have. Ooh, yeah. All right, a couple of really uglies and a couple of really sprouted. Hey, Freddie. Got a couple onions you can plant. See what happens. He's bad. He's pretty much empty. Actually, a lot of these still are really good. These 2 I'm going to go and hand to Fred. I'm going to see if he wants to plant them. So out of all those onions that we planted, guys, this is all we have left. Can you believe that? All the good ones I'll just put right back in the bag. Well, that's not too bad. We still have a good 10 pounds of onions left. And they're coming along great. I'm going to hang this back up. And then we'll check the garlic. Wow. Yeah, we've got a few in here. The garlic didn't last as well, but so that means I'm not even going to put them back in the bag. So out of all the garlic, that's all we have, but that's okay. This bag was full. I have no idea how much garlic we had. Only 2 failed jars. There are 3 really old jars of pickled beets that I have that I'm actually getting rid of as well. The pantry, I go through that quite a bit, so most of those jars have already been checked, which is great. But since we did just do the garlic, I have to show you one more thing before we call it a day. Remember that garlic that we found that was starting to sprout? Look how big it is. Yeah, that's that garlic we found when we were doing our freezer meal day. So yeah, another brand new garlic on the go. And of course, we still have all the garlic we planted in the fall. So we'll have plenty of garlic for next year. But I think next year we're actually going to freeze the garlic because, I mean, it doesn't last the entire season in our house because we don't have a cool enough room. So that's okay. Frozen garlic works great. It's just a big job. That was the springtime jar check. So now if you are a canner or if you're just getting into canning, don't forget, guys, you need to check your jars. Don't just expect them all to stay sealed all the time because they will sometimes cause a problem. I check them twice a year. Usually in the fall once I get everything sorted, and then again in the spring once I figure out what's going on. And this is the first time, I'm pretty sure actually, now that I say that, I am pretty sure this is the first time you and I have done the jar check together. So eventually, might actually go back and do that proper pantry tour like we started in the fall. But it'd be just really nice if it was all just in one spot so I could just show it to you. But that's okay. We've got the list started of what's going into jars this fall. So yes, canning season is officially started and we haven't even put seeds or seedlings in the ground yet. Anyway, we'll talk to you again. And thanks for coming out as we do our simpler life here on PEI. Bye for now.